Hey YouTube, welcome back to Tinker with Tools. I'm Taylor. We're going to be covering today the Metabo HPT hammer drill. We're going to get into what I like and don't like about it, and then we're going to put it through the test, both with a bigger and a smaller battery, just so we can see what the difference is, especially on this 36 volt tool. So let's go ahead and get into it here on Tinker with Tools. Alright, before we get started with the video tonight, I just want to take a second and give a huge shout out and thank you to Rob and Sarah over at Belts and Boxes for sharing my Makita versus Milwaukee video on their power tool weekend review. I really appreciate the support, and it's nice to all those of you who've come and found the channel because as a result of that. So as a way of paying it forward, I want to recommend a tool channel that I have been following now for a little while. It's a little bit smaller like mine, but it's giving some great content and some unique point of views. That's Impact Nation Tools here on YouTube, or Impact Nation Tools on Instagram as well. Go ahead and check it out. He's a concrete finisher and gives a lot of great unique perspective on how the tools function, and obviously has a love for tools just like I know you do. Go ahead and check out Impact Nation Tools. Now, Metabo HPT is one of the hidden gems in the tool industry, in my opinion. I've already talked about it a little bit when I reviewed their 18 volt triple hammer, but they really just have some nice tools to use. They have pretty decent power. They stack up competitively against other tools in the market, and unfortunately they just don't get that much face time there in your local Lowe's store or wherever else you might find them, and so sometimes they're forgotten about. They usually have pretty good deals, and if you give them a chance, I think you're actually going to find some stuff you really like about them. As I mentioned, this is the 36 volt hammer drill. It is actually model number DV36DA, so nice short model number. And you can buy it as a bare tool, or it does come in a kit where you're going to get it with two of the smaller 2.5 amp hour 36 volt batteries. I also have today, still in the charger, one of the bigger 4 amp hour 36 volt batteries that is a massive 8 amp hours when you're running it on the 18 volt tools. So we're going to kind of get into the testing on those today, see which one is going to stack up better and how the drill feels on both of the batteries, since obviously one's going to have significantly more weight. Alright, so as I take you through some of the features, just like most drills, we have a high and low setup there. This does have a 22 position clutch with a drill mode and a hammer mode on top of that. One of the more unique things about this is the handle attachment. You know, you're used to seeing kind of a hook that goes over the top of it. This one actually just has these two plugs, one on each side, so you can attach the handle on each side, that open up and reveal some threading and just allow you to thread that in there. It is a little bit slow, and then it kind of grips on down below. All right, so let's go ahead and get into the testing, and we'll show some specs up on the screen really quick so you can see how big and heavy it is. And then hopefully at the end of all this, I'll have some comparisons to some of the other hammer drills so we can see how it stacks up against its competition. So first up, we are going to be driving a 5-inch Spax. We're going to go ahead and drive that in, starting out in high speed with a full charged battery in drill mode. In 3, 2, 1. Okay, now moving on to the 6-inch in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, so with both of these, with the 6-inch, it really just drove it down probably another half an inch. Quarter of an inch, half an inch. Really has just some awesome power, and the same thing on that one. Now we're going to be going with the 5-inch power lag from Spax in 3, 2, 1. So now let's go and head over to the timber locks. If this is the first time you're seeing these tests, I try and do the same test on all the same types of tools so that you can kind of see what they're actually made of. Okay, so now going with the 6-inch timber lock in 3, 2, 1, go. Go. Let's just jump right into the 8-inch in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, no cutout. It actually drove it down into the top. That's almost recessed, so the top is flush. So it certainly has plenty of power. So there you have it. There's our driving test. Now we're going to set up the drilling rig and go through the drilling test. We're going to be doing 1-inch Bosch Daredevil in speed 2. 3, 2, 1. About as fast as I would expect it to be, of course. And now we've got the Spider speed boring bit, 1-inch, just a bit of a beefier bit. In 3, 2, 1, go. If you need a 1-inch bit to go through something, that goes through so much more smoothly than the spade bits, in my opinion. All right, so now we're going to be moving over to our 4x4 for our bigger bits, because why not put more strain on them? All right, so now we've gone up to 1.25 inch Spider bit. We're going into a piece of pressure treated 4x4. We are still in high speed. It hasn't shown any hint of giving up, but usually this is where we start to see it, even on these bigger drills. Okay, in 3, 2, 1. Okay, that was positively phenomenal. That was just seriously impressive. So obviously I'm going to show a clip just with the time for the Milwaukee and then the Makita that we did, because those are the nearest comparisons I have to that test. And I know the Milwaukee made it through in speed 1 or speed 2. I know the Milwaukee made it through in speed 2, but the Makita had to step down to speed 1. We're still in high gear, or in high speed, and we're going to go for it on the 1.5 inch. I don't know that I've ever had one complete this test with being in high speed. So here we go. In 3, 2, 1, go. It is through. It got hung up right at the end. See, it just had the little kind of fibers that break away loose and kind of give it a hard time there at the end. It did go through it in speed 2. And this is going to be the first tool that we are going to attempt to do the final bit, this Irwin 1.75 inch speed bore. We're going to attempt to do this in speed 2 and see how far we get. In speed 2, in 3, 2, 1. Okay, it is through. Now that it's stuck on those fibers, but I mean, I can see the whole bit down there. I'll go ahead and throw the results up on the screen, and then let's go ahead and talk conclusions about where I think this stacks up against the other power tools in the lineup. All right, so conclusion time. You've obviously seen the results. You know where this tool stacks up compared to the competition, but I'm going to give you my first impressions. I am going to be shocked if this is not the top drill, or at least in the top 2 drills that we've tested on here. Just the sheer fact that it was able to do each of those tests in speed 2 and not have cutouts that I deem failures, I really think that's an impressive feat for a drill. Now, obviously this is a higher voltage than what we've been running on those other tools. All of them have either been 20 or 18 volt, which is essentially the same thing. All of them have been those lower voltage tools. So it'll be interesting to see when we start to accumulate a little bit higher voltage stuff, when we put the flex in here, how's the flex going to stack up in it? Because I can tell you, you can get this tool on a better deal than the flex most of the time. And I really think that although that's not dogging on the flex, or even on some of those other ones, if you can get into a pro tool brand for less than a pro price, that's a really compelling thing for me. When I purchased my Metabo HPT tools, I have now the triple hammer. I obviously have this hammer drill as well, and then I've got some other Hitachi tools that are now Metabo HPT. I've gotten them all on really good deals. So I remember the triple hammer I picked up on clearance one day for $37. This one likewise was on clearance, so instead of being its normal $300, I think this one was like $160, and it came in a hard case with 2 5 amp hour batteries, or sorry, two 2.5 amp hour batteries in the 36 volt, and a charger. And the charger seems decently fast. It's got nice fans in it, and although that makes it annoying for filming, it does keep the battery nice and cool while it's charging. So where does it stack up, or how does it feel compared to those other Pro brands? I think you need to give it a try and see if you like it. Metabo HPT in general offers a lot of pro tools, and I know that they're sometimes thought of as a prosumer or a second tier brand, but I think we showed it with this, and obviously with the triple hammer and the number of people online that you see using the triple hammer as their primary impact driver, that there's obviously something right with the tools. This was a highly impressive drill. If this was your main drill, I think it would serve you just fine, and it obviously is going to be competitive with some of those other tools. Is it the most powerful in the market? Probably not, but it certainly didn't show that today. It seems like the fastest and most powerful one that I've put through any testing. Thanks for watching this video. If you have a suggestion for a future video, go ahead and leave it down in the comments below. If you'd like to see this Metabo HPT drill go up against something in particular, let me know and I can try and put that together. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching Tinker with Tools.